Man, it's been a while. So, depression kicked my ass. Welcome back. You have to get to a place where you're good with yourself, and I think it's time because now I've done my skin looks bad. Dang, I gained a little weight. My hair's not on point. I'm too lazy to do my makeup. All the excuses that I was telling myself was with me. However the world decides to judge me, I don't need to hear it. That's not my problem. My problem was with myself. And to be honest with myself. And if girl. And she's back. I had to take the time to dissect everything that I felt was wrong with me, that I felt that I needed to change, that I felt that I could control, because there was no one else that was going to do it except for me. I can just sit and be upset for the rest of my life. I can lay down for another 10 years and just be like, this is my life. But that should never be anyone's life. I think we have so many things to give to the world, and I think we have so many gifts that we have not tapped into because we're scared. For me, I was never one to think. I was never one to really care about what other people thought about me. But I just felt like this was on a global scale. But someone put into perspective. I ran into an old friend, and he said, when he talked to someone, they said, everything that we thought that people thought about us, it's not true. And to think that you are that important for them to think about what you're doing with your life, that's not true either. We are not the center of everybody's life. And for us to think that when we practice our passions, or when we give ourselves time to allocate our talents to everyone and showcase what we can do to help other people, if someone is still to judge that, that's totally fine, because that's on you. I came here what I came here to do, and what God has given me to do, and what had been presented to me. I'm more appreciative of it now because it didn't come easy. It never has. I think when you're given the opportunity to succeed, then why would you take advantage of that? Why would you purposely want to fail? We so often go into our little self-sabotage. I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not prepared for this. Well, then prepare yourself. Period. Why else would you sit in a chair for that long and not do anything anymore? And I know that it's hard. I know it's hard. You feel unworthy. You feel like nobody wants to be with me anymore, because I never want to wake up. And you get so comfortable not wanting to wake up that one day, oh my gosh, so that didn't make sense. What I meant is that I hate to say it, but it does get better. It gets better because you are taking the time and you're taking the effort to better yourself. One of the worst sayings that I've ever heard in my life is the phrase, it is what it is. Because that's telling me you can't do anything about it. So when somebody says it is what it is, in my head I say, but it can be better. I'm not here to fix you, bitch. I'm trying to still fix me. But to make that conscious effort in the things that we surround ourselves with. We surround ourselves with, are our friends trustworthy? We surround ourselves with, is our family trustworthy? But we question, I think it begins with us. Do I trust myself? Do I trust that I can succeed? Do I trust that I can actually accomplish this? Even if it's something small, man. Even if it's eating breakfast. Sometimes You don't have the strength, you don't have the will, and then you look like you're lazy, but you're not lazy. You're healing. Because for you to feel these things, that's better than not feeling at all. There was a point in my life, there was a point in my life where it had gone really, really, really far, and by it, I mean the funk or whatever you decide to call it. It had gone for years and no one had detected it because she's an actress or whatever. So it's hard. It's hard for your doctors to figure it out. It's hard for your family to figure out. You play the role so well that you trick yourself that, you know, I'm fine. And then you cry at home for like, you know, every night. But I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I didn't recognize me. And that was the scariest thing because I look freaking possessed. I look like one of those like movie trailers where it's dark and it's possibly sepia, but it was more like grayscale. But I didn't recognize myself. And I didn't recognize the soul that was behind my eyes. And she was a little scared. So how everyone will find a way around it. But the more you feed into the dark, the more it's harder to crawl out of. And I think that initial look in the mirror was a wake-up call saying, that's not you. And this shouldn't be you. Because there's so much more that you have in you to share. And there's so many more days that you have to see, you have to accomplish. But there are some countries that have not touched my feet yet that I want to see. There are foods in this world that I want to taste. There are men in this world that I have to make cry. Like, just kidding. But there are so many people you have to meet. And to think that one event or that one possible traumatic thing that you tell yourself, I can't get over. When you own your power and you say, well, I'm gonna get over it, even if it's starting very small. That's a win, dudes. That's a big thing. So I hope you find your power, and I hope you start small. Drink a glass of water or whatever, but start somewhere. Because you are worth so much more than you think. Have a good day.